A billionaire haunted by lust walks into his midnight kitchen for warm milk, and what he saw freezes him. Behind a metal rack, a starving child clutches leftovers meant for the trash. Everyone expects his legendary rage, but what he does next will shock his entire household and change two lives forever. Because sometimes the coldest heart just needs the smallest spark to remember it can still feel. And before I forget, where are you watching from today? Leave a comment below. Let's get back to the story. Andrew Smith knew that silence was the heaviest burden in an empty mansion. At 11:48 p.m., wearing only his navy silk robe and slippers, he shuffled through halls lined with memories he couldn't escape. Margaret's laughter still echoed in corners he avoided. Cameron's voice still called from rooms now permanently dark. Ridgemont Estate, with its polished marble and priceless art, had become a beautiful tomb. The kitchen was his nightly refuge. Warm milk, the same ritual since the funeral. But tonight, something was different. The pantry light flickered. Beneath it, crouched behind a rack of pots, was a small shape. At first, Andrew thought it was an animal. Then it moved, slow, fearful, deliberate. A child. Her deep brown skin was smudged with flour. Dark, braided hair frayed at the ends. A thin, faded hoodie with stretched sleeves. Shoes patched with cardboard. And, in her trembling hand, cold roasted chicken. Leftovers Rosa had set aside to discard. She wasn't stealing for mischief. She was stealing to survive. Andrew's jaw clenched. Not from anger. From recognition of something he'd forgotten existed. Desperation. Before he could speak, a sharp gasp exploded from behind him. Mr. Smith, Mrs. Gretchen Volkov, tall, severe, gray eyes flashing fury. This child has been trespassing in your kitchen, she barked. I told her mother to keep her away. She's a nuisance and a safety risk. I will call security. She stepped toward the girl. Andrew lifted one hand. Volkov froze mid-stride. The little girl swallowed hard, backing into the metal rack. Please, she whispered, voice cracking. I'm sorry, sir. I wasn't stealing. I'm hungry. Mama didn't eat today. I saved my half for her, but she started coughing and fainted, and her breath hitched. Tears filled her eyes, but didn't fall. Too proud to cry. Something inside Andrew shifted. A soft, almost forgotten ache. He recognized this bravery. Margaret's courage. Cameron's quiet strength. What is your name? Andrew asked gently. Destiny. Destiny. A powerful name for such a small girl. Sir, she's lying. Mrs. Volkov huffed. All staff know. Andrew turned sharply. One look silenced her. He knelt down, something he hadn't done for a child in years. Destiny clutched a small metal pin around her neck. What's that? He asked softly. My uncle's soldier pin. Uncle Mike. He died saving people. Mama says when I'm scared, I should hold it and be brave like him. Her voice shook, but she didn't break. Andrew did. Not visibly, but inside something cracked. He stood slowly. Where is your mother now? In the staff lounge, Rosa said from a sink, stepping forward hesitantly. She collapsed again while preparing tomorrow's menu. Benita, his cook, the woman who smiled despite exhaustion. Andrew's throat tightened. Benita's quiet coughs at night, her short breaths, her trembling hands. He had ignored it, chosen not to see. Sir, we must address this. Mrs. Volkov folded her arms. The staff contract clearly forbids. Enough. The entire room fell silent. Andrew lifted Destiny into his arms, light as a feather, and placed her gently on a stool. She's a child. The rules can wait. Rosa covered her mouth in shock. Mrs. Volkov went red with disbelief. Andrew warmed the milk himself, heated leftover mashed potatoes, plated vegetables, and chicken. He placed the food in front of Destiny. Then he made the call that changed everything. Leonard, he said when his lawyer answered groggily. Benita Gibson. St. Catherine's Hospital. I want her bills cleared. All of them. And get her a specialist immediately. He hung up. The staff stared like he'd grown wings. But Andrew wasn't done. He turned to Mrs. Volkov, his voice calm but crushing. Prepare guest room 3. Destiny and her mother will stay there until further notice. They are not staff tonight, they are guests. Destiny looked up, eyes wide. Why? Why are you helping us? Andrew hesitated. Memories rushed in: his wife's kindness, his son's gentle heart, the moments when he needed help and received none. Because, he said quietly, someone once helped me when I was lost. And for the first time in years, he meant it. Destiny touched her great-uncle's pen. The bronze eagle seemed to glow in the kitchen light. Andrew smiled, truly smiled, for the first time since Margaret died. Mrs. Volkov stood frozen, humiliated, powerless. Rosa wiped tears from her cheeks, and in a mansion that had known only silence and grief, a small girl's whispered "thank you" echoed louder than any fortune ever could. Sometimes hunger doesn't just take. Sometimes it gives back. It feeds the hearts that have forgotten how to feel. And tonight, in Andrew Smith's cold, perfect mansion, warmth finally returned. One small girl, one act of courage, one moment of unexpected kindness, and a billionaire rediscovered the part of himself he thought was gone forever. If this story touched your heart even a little, imagine the twist still waiting ahead. Subscribe to Twister Stories so you never miss the next life-changing moment. Doing this will help our growth. Because sometimes the smallest stories lead to the biggest transformations.